Hey, welcome to the Mostly Skateboarding Podcast. I'm your host, Temple Tonelli, and I'm joined this week by Patrick Kagongo and Jason from Frozen at Carbonite for a look back at 1996. Patrick, you called 96 year zero of the modern era. What exactly did you mean by that?
So it all goes back to one of the first nights at the inaugural Slow Impact in Tempe, Arizona. A bunch of us who'd known each other on skate Twitter were meeting in real life for the first time and having an extended hang. And the conversation got round to mid-1990 skateboarding, more specifically 1996. And I posited the theory that 1996 was the last great year for American-centric skateboarding and rattled off a list of videos that came out that year. Among them, Trilogy, Mouse, Welcome to Hell, Eastern Exposure, Maple's 7 Steps to Heaven, which featured the late, great Mark Johnson, Big Brother's Shit, Reels Nonfiction, and a host of others. And I feel as though, or I felt, and I still feel rather, that was the last year in which skateboard industry and skate culture was firmly determined by Southern California skateboarding. Because you already see in that list of videos I just rattled off, Eastern Exposure. Eastern Exposure 3 was arguably the most important video to ever come out from the East Coast because it showed everybody, oh my God, not only is there great skateboarding happening outside of California, it is culturally, aesthetically, and in terms of soundtrack, sonically quite different. And this is a conversation that a few of us have been having for some time. And I believe that Anthony Paul wrote an essay about this. And it's something, this is a topic that we've been threatening to talk about for some time on the pod. And now it's finally happening. But I really do feel that it was at once the apex of California-centric skateboarding, but also a harbinger of things to come. And that a lot of today's street skating, its DNA lays in that era. I'll use Palace as an example. Trilogy, specifically the Menace section of Trilogy, the Menace commercial, not even section, the Menace commercial, massive influence on Palace and a whole host of other brands. Oh my goodness, you know, it's almost like it's a year that whose shadow we can't escape. Jason, you are our resident world kid.
Yes.
You were there. We were all there. What about 1996 stood out to you? And why do you think or not think that this was arguably the year zero, one of the more important years in skating?
Yeah, well, up until like 1994, I'd say there was only like one trajectory for street skating. It was basically whatever was in the Plan B videos, maybe the Blind video. Like even in Kids, which was filmed in 1994, they were still watching Video Days, you know? And I think the one video that really started a different path was Stereo, a visual sound. That got away from the whole like World Tech, Southern California, whatever the fuck. And in 1995, which was when a lot of the 1996 videos were filmed, like I'm started going to college in New York and I would see like Quim Cardone doing like walling trash cans. I was like, what the fuck is that? You know, that was kind of the beginning of kind of like East Coast creative skating, wallies, pole jams, all that kind of shit. So that was one different path that kind of like jumped off in 1996. Then there was jumping off stuff, right? Like Toy Machine, which later titled the video Jump Off a Building, you know, big rails, shit like that. You know, instantly kids that were kind of like World Tech got like big wheels, started, you know, jumping on rails, all types of shit. That was more like, I think that was more of a thing in like your middle America type places. Then with Trilogy and Mouse especially, that was like the Bible for technical ledge skating for pretty much the rest of the decade, and even starting to do technical shit on rails. Like there was no more, you couldn't skate like a shin high ledge like the Ramona school or whatever. That was cut, had to be like a little bit higher. You had to slide a little bit further, you had to grind a little bit further. So that was like the ledge tech route for the next 10 years or whatever. It was kind of like the Bible for that genre of skating pretty much until I'd say even like, yeah, right. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Those three different branches on the tree, so to speak, kind of branched off starting in 1996.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I feel like 1996 is where things really started to, the progression kind of slowed down and things stabilized. So it's like not so much doing a 360 flip nose slide on a curb. It's like we're doing a kickflip backside tail slide on a ledge, or we're skating like Smith grinding a 12 stair rail. Like it's just paring things back a little bit, refining them, making them like really good instead of just like, holy shit, I rode away from that. That like, you know, the early 90s kind of represented that, you know, early tech stuff was just like fling and pray, and maybe you're still rolling at the end of it, maybe not. And that's still a clip.
Templeton, what about you? Do you feel like, you know, is it an overstatement to say that this was arguably one of the most important, if not the most important year in street skating? And we're sticking to street skating here.
Right. Well, I mean, as far as vert goes, I think that it was also kind of, this is like the decline of vert. It's like almost completely gone, or not almost completely gone, but it's well on the way out of the mainstream, I guess.
Even so, Transworld still had 3 vert covers in 1996. They were trying to keep the flame burning down there.
I think that's a reflection of the editorial board being vert-centric type guys. So I think they were kind of like holding the line for their people.
Hold the line.
But I mean, at the time, you know, you had the Magdalena X YMCA ramp, which was featured in an episode of MTV Sports. You had the X Games, which had just been rebranded. You know, the previous year, 1995, was the ESPN Extreme Games with the most nauseating looking course of all time. And it's not like vert was still completely out in the cold, but I think this was where like street skating was firmly in pole position. Like that was what was driving the culture.
Right. The crown had been passed from vert to street.
And go on.
Back to your original question about like kind of where I was in 1996. I was 16 years old. I got a job at a skate shop. Skating was my life. I watched Trilogy a million times in that skate shop. And yeah, I think I was like, Welcome to Hell and Eastern Exposures 3 were kind of the videos that set me on my path. I thought that, you know, being on the East Coast in North Carolina, I was like, this is my shit. I'm an East Coast skater too. I'm going to do pole jams and wallies like Ricky Oyola and like try and skate fast, you know, rolling on 60 millimeter wheels and stuff. So that was like my shit. And then, yeah, I think Welcome to Hell really set the tone for the next decade plus of like what skateboarding was going to look like with the rail skating. Because I think that was like, I don't know, if you probably look at covers from the year 2000, they would be like 90% rail photos. So I think that kind of really set the tone for the future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like you said, with Eastern Exposure 3, I mean, I seen it. Like my friends, when that video came out, almost overnight, a bunch of people got that one Ricky Oyola board on Zoo York that was super popular. It got some like, whatever, 58 millimeter wheels. It was like a whole new setup. It was like, damn, it was like a new thing.
It's interesting. 1996 was a strange year for me. So I was 14 at the time. And I was in Uganda the entire summer. So I missed so much of what was happening. You know, mind you, we had internet at home, but it was dial-up, and there was definitively no broadband, and nobody we knew in UG had an internet connection. So I think it was the May and June issues of Slap magazine and an issue of Thrasher to keep me company. And it was really amazing, you know, I was going into my freshman year of high school, the culture shift from Plan B and 411s to like Fresh. Like, you know, I went to a high school that pooled a couple of different middle schools there. And so all of a sudden it was, like totally different style from some of the other kids, even though, you know, we all lived in the same area.
Did you come back from Uganda and like your homie who was doing pressure flips is now doing pole jams? Did you see that kind of a flip flop of styles?
Nah, I think I saw people do pressure flips in the late 90s because they were just weirdos, and I had actually put them onto older videos that had them. But that was the first time. Came back 96. Some of my friends were skating rails. That was a big one. That was a really big one, seeing people skating rails for the first time. Seeing my friends skating gaps. Like, Welcome to Hell was the first brand new video I got. In fact, I got it right before back to school. And oh my goodness. In fact, Nick Tape from the band Coke Bust, the singer of the band Coke Bust, amazing straight edge DC hardcore band, actually has my copy. I gave it to him I loaned it to him in college and haven't seen it since because I was in a band with his older sister. And Welcome to Hell, like for me, it was like Welcome to Hell and Trilogy. And then later, Big Brother shit. And something we can get into in a little bit is that it's not just the stylistic DNA for a company like Palace is in here. Like we saw 1996 in the videos alone gave us hints of so much else that was going to be happening. And if we're talking about Toy Machine, Alyssa Steamer. Alyssa Steamer is a superstar.
Yeah, that part was pretty historical.
Her pants,
major landmark.
Like there had been women who had been sponsored skaters, women who had been in videos, who'd had ads in magazines. But Alyssa Steamer having a part in that video, the video that really changed it. Like Toy Machine went from kind of fringe, a team which had very good riders, to being like the center of the culture and really dictating the direction of skateboarding for a few years. And also, if we're talking about DNA, Chad Muska, the lost part. Chad Muska got kicked off Toy Machine the night of the premiere because he was wilding out. Because while working on the master copy to deliver to the theater, computer that Jamie Thomas was doing the editing on kept crashing. I think he was working on the titles. You know, you imagine 1990 something, no cell phones, no nothing, or very few cell phones. It's wall to wall people. The kids are getting wrecked. You're restless. Muska's gone off of. I think he said he was drinking Goldschlager. Yeah, but guess what ended up happening later that year? For Shorty's ad. Like, what amazing things just came out of that one video. Like, my goodness. Like, right. That's one video.
I think going back to Alyssa, I mean, that set the possibility model and the bar a lot higher for women skaters. You know, it said women can skate, be involved in the industry, and they can rip. You know, they're not a sideshow. They're not a I don't know. Yeah, they're not a sideshow, so they can be a part of this just as much as the guys can. And you know, I think looking at where we are now, Alyssa Steamer was a huge influence on probably most of the girls who are pro now.
Yeah, and for the ones who were skating or had started skating around the same time, like say Alexis Sablone, wow, just absolute wow. And it is, you know, she got inducted into the Skateboard Hall of Fame this year. I feel like she's actually bigger than that. You know, that part and her presence, like on that team, like we could probably have a whole conversation just about Welcome to Hell. I mean, just like we haven't even talked about Mouse.
Right. Well, let's stay on Welcome to Hell a little bit longer because I think there's so much to it. You know, it's like this was the first time we'd seen Zero with an ad in Welcome to Hell. And Welcome to Hell was basically a Jamie Thomas project. He was kind of at the helm of it. And it kind of set the template the way Cherry did. Like, this is how we're going to film. This is like how we're going to cut things. It really set the bar of the level of skating, but also the production level. Like, the music was epic and like shit was timed to the music, and like it really changed the game, I think.
Yeah, that was Mike Ternasky had kind of done some like, you know, cinematic type stuff in, I think, the Life video, which Jamie Thomas cites as one of his favorite videos, and you know, Plan B, of course. But this was the beginning of the Jamie Thomas, like, super melodramatic, like, you know, with the Iron Maiden intro, he's skating on the bridge, like, just way over the top. He wasn't at like the Zero, like, quick cut type style yet, because, like, you know, the Death Lens hadn't been invented yet. But yeah, no one was really doing that at the time.
Oh, and the soundtrack, it's not just that Jamie Thomas was editing to the beat. He had impeccable taste. It's mind-blowing. Like, wait, you got Sonic Youth, the Sundays, Iron Maiden, the Misfits, Van Halen. Oh my goodness.
Plus in some random like jazz instrumental of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
Who knows where that came? That's way out of left field, dude.
But it works. It worked.
Yeah.
And like the more importantly, the fact that it worked, it showed that Jamie Thomas, he would have, in another life, he's an amazing DJ because his sense of timing, his ability to edit on beat was absolutely fascinating. And I'm routinely like, you go back and watch that video, it's still like, Mike Maldonado, that huge gap in his part, my God, it's still, like the whole video really boggles the mind. And
you mean that wall in Philly where like Ollie's onto the bench and then Ollie's
bench gap, like,
I mean, that's the First Division ad is like literally the best skate ad I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I've been to that spot and it's big. It's impressive.
I mean, yeah, that clip is one of those things like it comes up every so often on Instagram or Twitter and it's still like insane to this day.
Absolutely. It's like, it's
holds up.
And it set the standard for like, look, it's a passing of the baton because like Pat Duffy was still doing shit. And was it Plan B's Revolution came out that year, if I recall, but as great of a video as that is, as great of a part as Jeremy Ray has in there, or Danny and Colin skating to the Four Horsemen by Metallica, it does not have, because Plan B shuttered, or, that was like Plan B, like what, 1.5,
Right. Revolution doesn't feel modern the way Mouse Trilogy, Welcome to Hell, Eastern Exposures 3 do.
It was a premature epitaph for the company. I think if they had just left it after Secondhand Smoke, I think we all would have understood, especially, with Mike Chernasky's tragic passing. But, the video happened, but it did not have the same impact as many of the videos that we talked about, or like we're like that I listed earlier that we're talking about. Like there's a pivot here, we can pivot here to Eastern Exposure. Good God, black and white. High.
Plan B Revolution was 1997.
Oh, it was 97. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're a little outside of our range. Still.
A little outside of our range, but still like the fact that all of these videos were happening and shifting the culture, and Plan B puts out a video the next year and it doesn't, I think was rather telling.
Right. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to. Is that? Yeah. For me, that's the top video, most important video to me of this year, and maybe this era. Like I said, being an East Coast kid, it was the possibility model. Like you didn't have to go to California. There was cool shit in your town. You could go do some pole jams, skate your shit, your city, and it was cool instead of having to be perfect California stuff. So
yeah, I mean, even if you didn't like doing pole jams, there was still technical shit in there. There was like Jamal Williams' part was pretty dope. Even like the New York section, Rodney Torres was in there. Shout out Rodney Torres. But yeah, Eastern Exposure 3, like I remember I got it from Supreme, and Gio, who worked there at the time, was like, yeah, enjoy it, man. It's a sick vid, which was a lot because they never said anything good about anything, But yeah, at the time, I think it came out in March. And I was on spring break, but I stayed in the city to skate or whatever. But it was still cold as fuck. Like I was skating like these underground like parking structures at Columbia or whatever. And it came with that poster that was infamous. Never seen that. That was like a lot, especially for like an independent production. I don't know if Giant was like somehow in on the production. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, the poster was a lot. But that spring, the whole video was like, it was like a rallying cry for everyone on the East Coast. You know what I mean? It was like, dude, this is our shit. You know what I mean? It was, it was a moment for sure.
I just thought the fact that it was in black and white gave it a sense of gravitas. And it was a statement video. It was absolutely a statement video for the East Coast. And, something like it changed, And I say statement video because there was so much of Underworld Element. Sky Pager was East Coast. Harold Hunter, R.I.P. And there was obviously Andy Stone stuff. Andy Stone and Pepe Martinez, Andy Stone stuff in the 101 videos. But frankly, the filming was dog shit.
Even
really fucking bad.
That's what I was trying to think of. Like, yeah, they even said it in the Element video, like filmed with a blind guy in a pogo stick.
It was really bad. So to see a video that was not only beautifully filmed and edited and with a great soundtrack, it was oh my goodness. Like it is like that plus Zoo York's mixtape, which came out was what, 97 or 98?
I think it came out in 1998.
Those two, like the most important, like those two, like perfect summary of East Coast skateboarding. They did they made East Coast skateboarding is so much fun. It's fire. It's the best. But those two videos made it look, cinematic. They made it look epic, as the kids say.
Yeah, and I think Eastern Exposures 3 is what made me want to be a filmer. I think Dan Wolf was probably my first skate filmer inspiration. So super, super important to me in my development as a person, where I am in my life. So thanks, Dan Wolf.
Thank you, Dan Wolf. And then also Eastern Exposure 0, which kind of, had that stuff in color, but again, black and white. But
did that really come out in 96? It's so crazy that it just came so hot on the heels of Eastern Exposures 3, which maybe they were just wanted to jump on the opportunity.
Yeah.
I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
Really? It came out the same year?
I believe so. We'll do some rudimentary internet research while we talk about.
Yes, according to skate video site, 1996.
Yeah,
man, that's wild. But hey, back then, like sometimes a video came out and you just wouldn't see it because like your shop didn't get it. Like
there's no way you would have seen Eastern Exposures 2, really plugged in.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend had a copy, like an actual copy of Eastern Exposure 2. I don't know where the fuck he got it, but
probably
maybe Eastern Exposure 1. Did that even exist? Like, was that even a thing?
Yeah, but I
just like Mike Maldonado skating around and Jimmy Chung skating around like suburban Westchester County or whatever.
Yeah, is it weird to kind of think about Mouse and Trilogy as a pair? Even though they came out on opposite sides of the summer, like Trilogy dropped right before the summer, and oh my god.
Yeah, Mouse came out in December, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, because like Keenan and Gino was announced in the fall, but like, because like, look, actually, both of them had I think they could be looked at a pair because both of them had the return of a prodigy, Daewon coming back for Trilogy. He'd kind of been out of the limelight for a while, and also Daewon hinting at what he was going to do next with the picnic tables, and then obviously Mouse and Guy Mariano, who was robbed for Sodi. It should have been him, not Costin. Saying it with my chest.
Well, I mean, we'll talk about Mouse in a minute, probably.
Yeah.
But I think like I kind of go back and forth between Costin and Guy, like having the best part in Mouse. But back to Trilogy. Yeah, I remember I got my wisdom teeth out or something. My friend was like, yeah, the new World video is Trilogy. It's like Blind Menace, Blind World 101, whatever. And this was like when Cali's schoolyard picnic table shit really came together. Like there were some in 20 shot air, but like after this, like you couldn't skate the bottom of a picnic table anymore. It was over. Couldn't do it.
Yeah. And it had to look nice because and Ted Barrow talks about this in the latest episode of This Old Ledge, which kind of inspired us picking this particular topic. And I talk about Mouse and Trilogy as a pair because there's quite a bit of overlap of the skaters in both videos who were allowed to skate at Lockwood because that was turf. That was in a contested area. That part of East Hollywood at the time was hot. And because of folks in the Menace crew, there was like maybe about 20 people who were actually allowed to skate there without getting their shit jacked, or worse.
Yeah, I mean, plus, as far as I understand, like they were all boys. They all hung out and shit,
Yeah.
Most of the people on World and the girl trucking guy. So it was kind of like, yeah, one big thing. Plus, first Enrico Lorenzo part. I mean, Lorenzo, pretty much the first Spanish ledgelord. He started that whole thing. And by the way, his commentary, if you have the World box set that came out in whatever, like 16 years ago, his commentary on Trilogy is pretty stellar as well.
Also Clyde.
Dude,
Clyde Singleton.
It's kind of like a crime how Clyde's commentary on 20 Shot isn't on. It might be on YouTube or whatever. It's so great, but if it isn't, like, that shit is so funny, dude. It's one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Yeah, he's got an elephant's memory. You know, he remembers everything, and he admittedly was just like, yeah, I was wilding at the time, but good memory. And he was writing a lot too. He was doing stuff for Big Brother, which we can get to it, touch upon in a bit. But I guess the intro of Trilogy, the glitchy intro using the Four Horsemen, I think by The Clash. It's a song off of, it's on the second disc of London Calling, and I can never remember the name. Or maybe it's we'll find it in the show notes. But anyway, it's basically a chopped up version of that at the very beginning with the piano. Okay, if you had to pick one, triple screen, multi-screen intro, virtual reality or Trilogy?
Oh, virtual, but that just because, virtual is...
Oh, because Ozzy?
Yeah, the Ozzy part with Carmina Burana at the beginning is... that was life-changing. But yeah, the trilogy intro is pretty dope. Yeah. It was like nothing at the time. I was like, how did they fucking... Yeah, that's all out of Nodis's brain pretty much. So shout out Nodis.
Yeah. And, double parts from both Ronnie Krager and LeVar McBride. I think initially this was supposed to be, Blind's video was supposed to be a standalone. And apparently there was some hurt feelings about the fact that it was made into Trilogy. But, we got to talk about the most important part of Trilogy. That's that Menace commercial. Not part.
Commercial. The acting in the Menace commercial.
Snubbed at the 97 Oscars. Snubbed. I always remember that when they he makes that noise when he's about to hit record. Yeah, and also that was like, what year did Reasonable Doubt come out? 95 or 96?
I'm not the biggest Jay-Z fan in the world, but I think 96.
Yeah, so boom, like having Jay-Z in your video, it was very au courant and oh goodness. And also peak pants. There are many Ledge Tech videos, but this one had the best pants. Better than Fully Flared, any of the Krill Tap videos later on.
Yeah, the pants world was making at the time were the shit. Like the Menace jeans, whatever, Blind.
Yeah, I mean the Blind jeans were the big boys of their time.
Yeah. Better than the big boys. Heavier.
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, Templeton, you worked in a skate shop when Trilogy came out. Like, what was the vibe? What did people think when they were watching it?
I was not paying that much attention to the people who came into the shop and what they wanted. I was just a dumb 16-year-old who was stoked to be surrounded by skateboards. So I remember somebody came in and Ronnie Krieger's part was on with the Eurythmics song. And the kid was like, whoa, it's like that Marilyn Manson song. That was kind of like one of the few customer interactions I remember from that time. Also, the skate shop was pretty dead. It did not last a long time. So just not a lot of people coming through.
At least you have the memories, man.
Yeah. Shout out Branch. That was the skate shop. Branch Skate Shop.
In Winston-Salem?
In Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It was founded by the guy who did Kink Bikes. It's a BMX company. So just random.
I wonder what that SEO for them is like.
Yeah, I wonder.
And this does tie back to skateboarding. But what about, on the opposite end thing, Mouse?
Yeah, Mouse was some shit. Yeah, like I said, this was basically the Bible for technical edge skating for the next 8 years, probably up until came out. Told this story on here before, but I took a full-size VCR in a backpack on the subway from the Upper West Side down to NYU to dub it from my friend who actually got it on the white videotape, legendary white videotape. Yeah, the thing about Mouse was like there was very little guy coverage at the time. Actually, he had like a pretty extensive Transworld like feature interview in the year before. So we knew he was like up to shit, but yeah, it was kind of like what? Oh, so this is like what he looks like now and what he does. It was totally crazy. It was like, Costin, everyone knew Costin, whatever. He was always getting covered in 4-on-1s and shit. But yeah, the guy part was like something from another planet.
Yeah, and I thought it's interesting. He's skating a bunch of different shoes in there. Like Guy Mariano at his peak, no shoe sponsor. Kind of wild.
Yeah, he
But
was
cool looking.
Yeah, they were all doing like Converse, some random like Nike trainers or something. Someone on Twitter like triangulated them, I think, a while ago. Forgot what they were, but
he looked sick in Vans, like the like classics or whatever.
Oh yeah, the old schools, or even like half cabs or Mike Carroll. Yeah, he had a bunch of different shoes in there, but it's kind of a conceptual part, just because of everything he does on like the different bank to ledges, like at Lockwood or 7th Street, wherever. Like all those like weird like alley-oop grinds he does. It's kind of like watching Chris Miller skate vert. You know what I mean? He was just surfing it out, dude. Like, Chris Miller would do all these weird alley-oop grinds on vert, but he would make it look dope. So yeah, just some conceptual shit there for sure.
Yeah, a long-running theme in guys skating is the bank.
Yeah, and him skating to Herbie Hancock, like introducing like a whole bunch of like a whole generation of skaters to Herbie Hancock, and you hear that flute, you just do that. Woo, woo, woo. You do that to somebody, like they're gonna respond
it's like
to you.
it's like
Right?
a rallying cry or whatever.
Yeah,
Right.
If you know, and what's, I mean, I still love that video because it's a very, very, very like soundtrack wise, like I guess I don't think this year could be beat in terms of skate video soundtracks. But Mouse in particular, it's like that's lowrider music. That's like you got a nice Cadillac, it's Sunday, it's wax. You put on the soundtrack to Mouse, it'll just work. And Mike York, like who was it? It was like Ron Allen, and who else who was rapping on that song?
Definitely Ron Allen. I don't know who else was on there.
Dedication to Mike York.
Dedicated to Mike York.
It was Ben Sanchez skating to Earth, Wind, and Fire. I met him at the chocolate 30th anniversary. I thought it was like, that was the illest part ever. Like I love like him skating to Shining Star. Richard Mulder skating to Bob James Nautilus, like, which has been sampled to death, especially on East Coast hip hop. But oh my God, like it's a great video. But it's also, it's Keenan Milton, the greatest switch flip of all time.
Yeah, over the table.
Yeah, and to your earlier point about the fact that there was so much, despite the fact that everybody who'd left the World Camp to start Girl and Chocolate respectively left under bad blood, like the riders were all still getting along and chilling and, often skating each other's boards. You see Dill just like hanging out, just like blown away. It's kind of amazing. But what about, I mean, we could talk about other videos, but like something that's in the show notes I think is really interesting is that culturally, 1996 has a lot of hints at where skateboarding is going. So like Jason Templeton, like, could you touch on that? Like, like we laughed about this in the group chat about the Nike Chode coming out that year.
Yeah, Nike drops the Chode, which is a pre-SB skate shoe. So it's Nike testing the waters, seeing that skateboarding is a thing that they need to be involved in. Adidas is running ads in Trans World. The Norton, I think, came out the year before, but that was a skate shoe that Adidas was making. Puma sponsored the Grand Prix in Switzerland that year. Like, so 96, all these big name shoe companies are sniffing around skateboarding and probably paying pretty well compared to what everybody else was making. So
yeah, who was Mark Gonzalez on Adidas at that point?
Not quite. I think it was like 98 maybe.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, I did have those Adidas Nortons. Those were horrible. Like, I don't know what I was thinking.
I thought they looked sick though.
They did look kind of sick.
A little hikery.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of had blocked that out. I don't know what I was thinking, dude. Maybe I was like, because I used to skate in shelters, I was like, and campuses. I was like, oh, maybe it's, But yeah, weird. Maybe like I remember like Paulo Diaz was on the team or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Paulo Diaz was like, but Paulo Diaz was wearing Adidas's all through the 90s.
Right.
I love that. Was it 411? I think it's issue 4. We skated to Savory by Jawbox. and he's wearing some black shell toes, and he's skating Lockwood. But yeah, there was like a lot of hints at what was going to come, and to your point, Jason, yeah, like big shoe core, big shoe corporations were probably paying more money, but skaters were getting paid. Like that was the year where it felt like it started to feel like the American dream was happening. And actually, we laugh about like an apartment in Hollywood, a Honda Civic, and a gold chain. Remember, '96 was also a year that Adam McNatt kind of talked shit about that and basically got bounced out of the industry. Like he had a great part in the Evolve video, Still Life, that year, but I don't know what happened.
I don't know, dude. That part isn't that great.
I mean,
that's the one with the roller coaster 50-50 nollie flip, right?
Yeah, with the fake rail. Yeah, that didn't age well, dude.
I liked it. Was he skating to the Genitorturers, I think?
Yeah, his skates is something weird.
I've had a Cradle of Filth. It may have been Genitorturers. Anyway, I liked it. I even liked this, like his lost part from, 20 Shot Sequence. Shout out to you, Adam McNatt. I think he's doing tattoos now.
That was my first exposure to Adam McNatt. So I was just like, oh, this guy, like, kind of a kook.
Why? Because he talked shit on Muska?
No, just the 50-50 nollie flip and like Evil. I was like, what is this fucking company? This is weird.
Yeah, this video. I mean, he was on 101, like the part in
right, but I didn't know about that.
Yeah. It's what. Yeah, like if you didn't skate back then, or you didn't, you wouldn't know about it. Yeah, it's one of those things back then.
Yeah,
it was. I think something else to touch upon, because I think a lot of people rediscovered this part after Mark Johnson's tragic passing earlier this summer. Maple's 7 Steps to Heaven. He's skating to Lee Hazelwood and Nancy Sinatra's Some Velvet Morning. And then immediately after that, was it Watching Rainbows by Nina Simone, which, good God. And then like in a 4-1 issue 20 that same year, skating to Stereolab's Ping Pong. Elite tier taste. I'm so grateful that I met him and told him, I was like, yo, you put me on to so much good shit. Thank you.
I think that was the introduction to Stereolab for like a bunch of people, because my friend who skated gave me like a Stereolab tape like shortly after that. But I didn't see 7 Steps to Heaven until way later, probably until like the YouTube era.
Yeah,
just because my shop or Supreme or whatever didn't get like a Maple video. Just because, but that part, it's like from another galaxy. If you look at, you know what I mean? It's kind of like we might have said this on when we talked about Mark Johnson's passing, but it's kind of like from a different time. Like he's just wearing like khakis and a white shirt with the Lee Hazelwood song. It's doing like every trick.
Is it kind of the same as what we were saying about Mouse? How it's kind of like more refined, like more pop skating, like full size ledges and stuff. Is it to that level of the future? Or is it still
I think so. I think you could say that, yeah. Because in the other Maple video, he was still skating some low ass, like shin high, almost type of curbs. But
almost curbs. And it's an interesting video too, because who's the guy in there who skates to Brave Captain by Fire Hose?
Oh yeah, couldn't tell you.
Yeah, a huge back three off a kicker. Chad Knight skating to Crazy Train. What else? Who else was in there?
Good soundtrack.
Dave Mayhew skating to Grease is the Word, which I thought was fucking fantastic. By the way,
that kind of ruins it then.
No, it doesn't. It works.
Or ruins the great soundtrack comment, I'll say.
I don't know. Like, come on, man. Like, I love Frankie Valli. Come on.
Did you see that? Like, it was probably on Twitter. They showed a video of him performing recently, and like, it's so obvious that he's lip syncing. Like, he's not even like moving his mouth at all.
Dog, that man. Like, you think he can still hit those notes?
No, my wife saw him a long time ago, and there was a ringer who would jump in and sing the high notes for him.
Oh, well, there you go.
This was probably like 25 years ago, or maybe longer.
Yeah, but it's also kind of sad. I think there's like some serious accusations of elder abuse on the part of his kids. Like maybe like they're kind of pushing him out there. Like, he should be retired and chilling, but they gotta wheel him out to sing the hits. Shine,
maybe he just loves the spotlight.
I guess so. But anyway, I think it works well. But anyway, like Mark Johnson's part alone, worth the price of admission. Donger, lengthy part in that video.
I'm gonna have to go watch this.
Yeah, you rewatch it, man. That shit is amazing.
Serious blind spot for me.
Is Jerry Sue in that video? Is Jerry Sue in that video?
Next one,
Gotcha.
Black Cat. Yeah, it was But like, what an era! And if I had to pick, there's so many we could go on about. If there's one where I had to pick from this era, which was also a harbinger of things to come, for real, Big Brother shit.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of begat Jackass to a degree.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that
better
plus,
or worse.
Yeah, that plus Toy Machines jump off a building and then the land speed video. That's how you get Jackass. I liked it because there was some wild shit in that video. Shout out to Bill Pepper.
Dude, I had that video, but like I gave it to one of my roommates and I just forgot to get it back when I moved out. It was one of those deals. But like there was some like just like straight up skating in it. I remember they skated to Highway to the Danger Zone.
Oh no, you might be thinking of number two.
Boo?
Yeah, you're thinking
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. No, there's actually some great DC footage in there, and also New York skating to The Last Poets. Like there's some great Banks footage in there. Bill Pepper, I think, back 180ing some huge stair set in near the Capitol in DC, and Dmitry Ilyaskovich and Rick Kozik getting into a fight and being like, "Yo, you're leaning, you're standing over here, you're leaning like, ooh,
right.
like it's like a big back and forth."
Yeah, I remember that shit more than the actual skating in that video.
And then, of course, it was an era in which nudity was hard to come by. So the Big Brother video had plenty of it. And this is before they got bought by Larry Flint, which was, I think, like the next year. And interestingly enough, the magazine got more tame.
Yeah.
How ironic.
Like I was able to get a hold of some Big Brothers from that era in like 97. And it still blows my mind. I was like, I can't believe I have this. And I had to treat it like contraband in my house, like
those things were hard to come by.
It wasn't just hard to come by. There was hardcore shit in there. It was wild.
Yeah. The first 10 Big Brothers were like completely lawless and like just like so funny. They would just like make stuff up and put it in the news column or whatever at the front of the mag.
Yeah.
And so creative too. It was like that was the shit, dude. First 10 issues of Big Brother.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think,
give or take.
I don't know what the number is, but I have a lockbox and a like a fireproof bag, and among the things that's in there, in addition to like certain documents and things like wedding certificate, is my copy of the Black issue.
That was a classic. Yeah, that came out.
It's mint. I got it from a gallery in downtown LA. I'll just like grabbed it. Just like, yeah, this is one of those. This thing has to survive.
I think that came out in like December '95, almost '96.
Okay,
but
yeah, man. For better or for worse, Big Brother carved out a lane of its own, and also was a hint of things to come, whether we liked it or not. But just like the news footage from that era is hilarious too, and also like stuff from public comment. Like people really thought that Big Brother was going to destroy society in Southern California.
I mean, shit, maybe it did until the cell phone came along and really finished us off.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine 1996 with cell phones? No, 1996 with the iPhone.
I would hate to have 1996 me preserved in digital. Not that I was even being that bad. I don't know. Nice to be out in the street, without with only the memory to bring.
Well, you know what they say: the mental picture lasts longer.
It's true. Right. Yeah, because you really clearly imagine. But just humor me for a second and imagine the ASR trade show in the 90s with the iPhone, or the Welcome to Hell premiere that didn't happen. Can you imagine? It's like, yo, your live stream is like, yo, this shit's crazy. Musk is wildin'. We're out here. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, I feel like the mystery adds to the legend. If Instagram was around, 2 days after the premiere, we would know exactly what went down and why. Muska would make a video explaining his side. Jamie would make a video explaining his side. It would all just be a little too reality TV, and nobody would come across looking cool, which is kind of the whole point of skating.
Imagine Gifted Hater with a break.
1996 rules, he might have got duffed out
Might have
by the Menace team or something.
It would be a recurring theme.
Yeah.
But it's a different era. But just imagine like a Gifted Hater being like, yo, this is Gifted Hater. Look what happened at Toy Machine, and just like breaking it down the way he does would be hilarious.
Wait, so just what happened? Just like factually, the video he couldn't finish the video in time, and there was no video.
Video was completed. But there was the video, as he was trying to do the titles and make a transfer into a master to take to the movie theater, the Mac that he was editing on kept crashing. And so eventually he had to pull up and say, I wasn't able to do it.
Oh.
And concurrently, more and more people are showing up at this theater, and it's wall-to-wall people. It's highly anticipated. I mean, you go back and watch Welcome to Hell, and then watch the Muska part and imagine that those two together. It ended up being a groundbreaking video. Imagine if it actually hit. And it was, Muska was hanging out, feeling himself, stoked on the part that he had just filmed, drinking Goldschlager, and he got pissed off. And then apparently, there was he cussed out Ed, cussed out Jamie, was confronting people, rightfully agitated. But alcohol unfortunately has a tendency to magnify certain things, and shit that could have been handled with a quick conversation to the side, quickly blew out of proportion, and he got kicked off the team.
Right. Well, shout out Goldschlager. That was one of my go-tos when I used to drink. Probably because of that, and subconsciously, up until eventually the bar at which I was a regular stopped carrying it, so I just switched to Jaeger.
Can you imagine? Yeah, no Goldschlager, no Muska. Without Goldschlager, you don't have the Muska.
Can you imagine? Crazy. All right, we've gone pretty long on this, but before we bring this in for a landing, I want to mention Transworld 4-wheel drive and Uno dropped in 1996, and Planet Earth Silver dropped in 1996. And I'm mentioning those all together because Ty Evans, Silver was one of Ty Evans' first videos, and I think Ty Evans was kind of like the creative force behind the Transworld video dominance. So Silver is kind of the first step in his career, and it was such an important contribution to skating as a filmmaker, so.
It was a harbinger of things to come. Like Genesis was his breakout video. Silver is good. The Transworld videos were great. Because the unofficial first Transworld video was The Dreams of Children, which had no titles except on the montages, just on the standalone parts. But I loved Uno. Actually, another great Mark Johnson's part, skating to Presidents of the United States of America.
Yes.
Old man on the back porch.
Silver was okay. I purchased that video. I like Joey Bass' part was pretty good.
Yep.
Caesar Singh's part, even though he wants to beat you up, Patrick, for whatever reason.
We got to squash the beef, Caesar.
I don't know if but anyway, one other important video from 1996 was FTC Penal Code 100A.
Yeah.
Definitely watch that and Nuendo at Supreme a lot. Shout out Aaron. Real quick, just the intro was super artistic, like nothing at the time. It was kind of like an East Coast video filmed on the West Coast. Which kind of makes sense because SF is kind of like a East Coast type of city.
Right. And, a lot of East Coast people.
Yeah, a bunch of East Coast footage as well. Like the Who's That Lady montage.
Ooh.
Was very, very memorable. That hit pretty hard at the time. And also the only Joey Alvarez part, he was one of the dopest street skaters in New York at the time. You kind of had to be there, but
Johnny Fonseca with that huge front three off of Driveway Bump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out everyone that was on American Dream Incorporated, the skateboard company.
ADI. And, it's the other thing I really loved about that is Mike Carroll's windbreaker game in that video.
Indeed.
It's drama, but it sounded real good.
Yeah, I just watched that part to get ready for this podcast. That's one of, all those parts are good, but that part is pretty dope.
Yeah. Mike and Rick, okay, you have to choose one. Mike and Rick in Mouse or Mike and Rick in FTC2?
Mouse. Jason?
Probably. I'm gonna say FTC, dude. Because he only had like a few tricks in Mouse.
FTC. Definitely FTC. Also, apparently Bobby Puglio hated skating to Van Morrison's Caravan, but I actually think that was great. Aaron Meza, phenomenal music supervision. And I think he may have inadvertently referenced the actual promo clip or music video for Procol Harum's Whiter Shade of Pale, which is the song in the intro. Because I went some years ago, watched the video for the Procol Harum song. I was like, oh shit, this kind of reminds me of the FTC video. No idea if Meza saw it at the time. Maybe it was on MTV2 or something like that. But yeah, it's like, there's something about it. It's the first video with the new spot with aka Pier 7 in it extensively. You know, there's not as much EMB footage, just say FTC 1 finally.
Yeah. Again, ushering in the modern age. I think we've done it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a hell of a year.
Yep.
Yeah. Stoked we were all around to experience it. And that brings us to the part of our show where we talk about what we're stoked on. Patrick, what are you stoked on this week?
Man, I'm stoked on Spitfire Wheels. I am also stoked on the return of the Premier League, defending champions Arsenal Football Club from North London. Been listening to The Clash recently, more specifically Give 'Em Enough Rope, an album I neglected many years ago. Adam Abada actually had an appearance in the Canvas section of Thrasher magazine for the August 2026 issue.
Yeah, shout out Adam, dude.
Yeah, that was like a pleasant surprise. I'm just catching up on the magazines that have been piling up. Gramici hiking pants. I rocked some to work today. Yo, you could pull those off as work pants. It worked. It was wavy. The episode of This Old Ledge on Lockwood that actually kind of inspired us to talk about 1996. Shout out to Ted Barrow.
Yeah, shout out Ted, friend of the pod, friend IRL.
Yeah, Professor. And finally, $3 by Naquan Rawlings, which is a new little edit that he just dropped. Jason, what you stoked on?
Stoked on Venture Trucks from San Francisco, California. Stoked on a very well-written piece on the Ringer website on the WNBA player Olivia Miles from the Minnesota Lynx, one of the dopest basketball players out right now. Stoked on the little Ben Tenner in Copenhagen part for 18 East Clothing Company. And stoked on the animated series X-Men 97, season 2 of that. If you're a real comic book head, you'll get a kick out of it. Templeton, what are you stoked on this week?
I'm just going to continue the 90s nostalgia theme and say I'm stoked on The Breeders, Kim Deal's band after the Pixies. Saw them in downtown Portland on Tuesday, and they killed it. So stoked on The Breeders. That's it for our show this week. Be sure to check out mostlyskateboarding.net for links to the things that we talked about and other show notes. Until next time, you can keep up with us all week online. Jason, where can the people find you?
Twitter at Carbonite994, Instagram at Frozen Carbonite, and writing stuff for quartersnacks.com. Patrick, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, doing the damn thing under the handle at PKigongo. Templeton, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Mostly Skateboarding, and you can find the show on YouTube at Mostly Skateboarding. We will see you guys next week.
There.
All
right, that was fun. Patrick,
Alrighty.
I'm still rolling.
Yes.
I feel like you could probably contribute something to last week's topic, objects that define skateboarding in 2026. Do you have one object?
Oh, yeah. Green juice.
Ooh, green juice. Yes, perfect. Thank you.
I keep it fresher than the next bitch. No need for you to ever sweat the next bitch. With speed, I make the best bitch see the exit. Indeed, you gotta know you're thoroughly respected. By me, you get the keys to the Lexus. But no driving, got your own 96 something.